We've got a guest on the line right now, Bob Mulholland, who's a superdelegate from Chico, California, a senior advisor and longtime chief spokesperson for the California Democratic Party. cadem.org is the website. And Bob, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm here in the Wells Fargo Center.
Great. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
You wanted to talk about Donald Trump. What's on your mind here?
Well, I think Donald Trump is a huge accident for the Republican Party. And as we saw last week and the last several months, many of the leaders of the Republican Party, including former nominees and presidents, are distancing themselves from Trump because of his gutter language, because of his attacks on immigrants, because of his attacks on Muslims, because of his attacks on women. And what happened last week, and this is my 11th convention as a Democrat, national convention. I've been to a few Republican conventions. I've never seen a person who running for president who offered so little hope, who actually told the American people that this country's going to hell in a handbasket.
I've seen two of them. Pat Buchanan.
Oh, yeah,
and,
Pat, okay.
And George Wallace. And they both happened in my lifetime.
Yeah, I know, but none, Pat destroyed the Republican convention back in '96. But the nominees usually, like Reagan, would offer hope. Because most Americans, and there's going to be 125 to 130 million, the majority of them did not participate in the primaries, didn't go to any rally. 99% of the American voters have never been to a rally and never will go to a rally. And they're the people that have regular lives, regular jobs, regular commutes, and they're saying to themselves, who can help my family? Who can keep the country strong? Yeah. And that's Secretary Hillary Clinton. It's not Trump.
Bob, my apologies. If I said George McGovern, I meant George Wallace.
Yeah, I figured that.
Yeah, okay,
George, the tragedy of somebody like George is like Trump. He in 1972, George Wallace, running on the segregation platform, won the Michigan primary.
I know. I lived in Michigan at the time.
Yeah, with 51%. A lot of Republicans voted in there, but that was 30-some years ago. Yeah. And that's what's shocking about Trump. He goes up there and talks about 12 million undocumented. Many of them are working at his casinos or named, businesses with his name on there. These are the Americans these are the undocumented people that have worked hard in this country, and a lot of them have kids who are citizens, and yet Trump talks about putting them in internment camps.
Yeah, it's pretty grim. It's pretty grim. So on the one hand, we've got this dystopian view of America in the Republican Party and its nominee, and a bizarre view of America in the vice presidential nominee on the Republican side, Mike Pence, who basically has been a politician for sale his entire career. He took $100,000 from the tobacco lobby, and back in 2000 was writing articles about how tobacco doesn't kill you. And now he's a climate denier. He's apparently, according to Mary Bottari, reporter, researcher, the Koch brothers are his third largest lifetime contributors. So basically we've got a politician for hire, a sold-out shill as the vice presidential candidate on the Republican side. So what's the positive message the Democrats are offering, in your opinion, that can defeat that?
Well, when I hear the Republicans attack Secretary Clinton as the third term of Barack Obama, I'm thinking, well, under Bush Jr.'s eight years, under Barack Obama so far, 14.5 million new jobs. 5%, 4.9% low unemployment. Most of our troops that were in Afghanistan, Iraq, that Bush had there have returned home, and many of them have left the service after their 4 or 6 years. Hillary will talk about women and families, education, and keeping this country secure. I love it when the Republicans attack us for wanting to keep the Obama success story going. It's great when I hear and read 200,000 new jobs every month versus 800,000 jobs lost under the Republicans. And Donald Trump is a guy who thinks the Bush economy was a huge success. But Donald Trump, I think he's in his early stages of dementia because he gets a little too angry and he repeats himself a lot. So I'm a little worried about his health. Yeah.
Okay. Bob, any advice to either longtime Bernie supporters or longtime Hillary supporters, for that matter, on ways that we can bring this party together? It sounds to me, from what I was hearing of Bernie's speech, he's speaking as we're talking, that he's actually working pretty hard to try to pull this party back together right now.
Yeah, it's very important for Senator Sanders, not only standing with Secretary Clinton a few weeks ago in New Hampshire, but also his speech tonight to the national audience of whatever it is, 10 or 20 million people. And I saw, a poll out a few weeks ago, 85% of Sanders supporters already, as a few weeks ago, already supporting Secretary Clinton, and that's ahead of the schedule that Hillary Clinton and Obama had in '08. What you see at conventions is activists. Many of them, of course, have not been around before and don't understand the process and think because they just got here that the whole process should be changed. I was born in Philadelphia, so I have a little understanding of radicalism, a little understanding of people standing up to the British government. But I also understand that after a couple hundred years of democracy, we have recognized parties, we have recognized laws, we have recognized rules, and there was a primary of over 50 states, as well as D.C. and territories, and Hillary Clinton got 3.5 million more votes than Senator Sanders, and about 350 more pledged delegates. So I think probably by the end of this week, 95% of the actual Sanders delegates will have accepted the fact that Sanders did not get the gold medal in the Olympics, he got the silver medal. And anybody who's been to the Olympics, and certainly not me, who got the silver medal, that's a pretty good medal.
Yeah, nothing wrong with coming in. Nothing wrong with that if you're looking for medals. If you want to be president, it's a problem.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah. Bob Mulholland, a superdelegate from Chico, California, senior advisor and longtime chief spokesperson for the California Democratic Party. Their website is cadem.org. You can tweet him at Chico, CHICO_Bob, B-O-B. Bob, thanks a lot for being with us.
All right, thanks for having me on.
Good talking. We'll be back.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 202-808-9925.
We'll be back with more right after this.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.